Good morning, one and all. I am Himanshu Saluja, final year chemical engineering student of Tikras Murtal, Haryana. Today we have between us Mr. Yogesh Koparkar. He has an educational background of bachelor's in chemical engineering, followed with his master's in the same front of ICT Mumbai. He further went to Doctor of Philosophy from ICT Mumbai as well. He has already offered 15 years of experience in process engineering, project execution, plant operation, process design, and many more, and research and developments. Since May 2018, he has been working with Jubilant Life Science Maharashtra as an associate director, where he is responsible for enhancing productivity of ethyl acetate reduction in consumption coefficient of raw materials using developed new process for product manufacturing. He has also worked with Dr. Reddy's laboratory at Andhra Pradesh as a resource manager. Mr. Koparkar has been a part of Bayer India Limited as a company apprentice for a span of 1 year. Mr. Yogesh is also well equipped with some good IT skills like chemical simulation and design of unit operation on ChemCAD, where he successfully designed and COT scrubbing system. Distillation system example acetone plus water, methanol plus water, acetonate with methylate chloride, etc. Molecular modeling, material studio software, and increment. Molecular modeling of desulfurization of diesel, adsorption separation of phenol on functionalization resins. Beyond academic, he has won Opi Narula Best Master Thesis Award in this year 2004 to 2005, and also received the first prize in national level poster presentation organized by Tata Power. Therefore, I would like to express my heartiest gratitude to him for giving us his precious time out of a tight schedule and also sharing with us of some of his widespread knowledge and experience. Thank you so much, sir, for giving us your precious time to give the knowledge to our students.
Yeah. Thank you, Himanshu, for a brief introduction. So, I am Dr. Yogesh Koparkar, presently working in Jubilant Life Science as an associate director, looking and head of business excellence, basically, uh, working with the team for enhancing the EBITDA of the organization. So, welcome you all. Good morning. So, Yellow Belt aspirant, welcome to the journey of statistical science and business excellence. So basically, we will go with the presentation. In this lecture, I'll be touch upon the various phases in the project and what are the type of waste or the defects which are occurring in the process, how we can manage that. So that we will discuss with the examples which are known to us, and which are in the process what I have learned. Because after reaching to associate director position, I'm still learning. I'm still practicing the Six Sigma tools for finding out the variation in the process. And we are considering this variations to a digitization where the AI tools can be utilized for find out the defects in the process, the unevenness in the process, or deviation in the process. So let us start the journey of. I will present my presentation. So just wait for. Just wait. System got hang. So this is another kind of defect which is happening. So I have to find out the root cause for that.
Good morning, sir. I'm Varun Sharma. Your screen is stuck, sir.
Yeah, it's hang.
Yes, sir.
I just restart it. I'll just check it out. What is the problem?
Okay, sir.
Hello, you can see the screen. Hello.
Yes, sir.
Yes,
Yes,
sir, we
sir.
can see.
Yes, sir, we can, sir.
Sorry for the interruption because my laptop was hanged and maybe I need to find out the root cause for that. So let us move for phases of yellow belt. So you are yellow belt aspirant. So welcome you all again for this house gathering of understanding yellow belt, what it means, what it contains. and what are the different levels which you have to achieve near future. So I'll just give you the broad spectrum of that. Let us move. So you are at yellow belt, which is the base. So you will understand the basics of Lean Six Sigma. After that, there will be aspiration in you to do green belt. And green belt not only understand the Six Sigma tools, but he lead and support the project. Basically, for green belt, the saving potential, what we have level it up to 20 lakhs and above. So that is the baseline the green belt project has to give to an organization. Then your aspiration increase to, why can't I try for the black belt? Because black belt will give you another lead for managing projects. So there will be more than 10, 15 projects you will handle and give organization saving more than crores, 15 to 100 crores. Then comes the master black belt, where you coach, consult, and lead the project. This is the first step of Lean Six Sigma, is the yellow belt, where you will do a small project which will have or which will remove the pain of the organization, which is small one. And this project you have to complete within 1 or 1.5 months. Green belt, yes, 120 days required, and black belt will go on for 1 year. And master black belt, he's the strategy maker for the organization. So projects are keep on running. So these are the belts level for Six Sigma. Now we will go for the phases of yellow belt projects. So first phase, this is the DMAC philosophy, what we are using for Six Sigma. Customer is the prime focus. It starts with define. Now what suggests define? Means we have to define our problem. In detail, we have to give a statement and we have to write a project charter. In project charter, we have to write a business case. In business case, we have to ask WH question. What is the problem? Where is the problem? Why is the problem occurring? From when the problem is occurring? And if you will solve this problem, how much business will be impacted? So that should be coming into your business case. Project charter also include problem statement. Problem statement should be smart, which shows the problem. What is the impact of problem? What is the level of problem? And from when it is occurring. Then comes to goal. So goal should be smart. Smart, S stand for specific, M stand for measurable, A stand for achievable, R stand for relevant, because the problem, the goal should be relevant to your problem. And T stand for time bound. So if you are having a smart goal, then only you can achieve that. So that smart goal is the part of project charter. Also, the project charter consists of the saving, what you will achieve from the project. So that is adding to your EBITDA of the organization or the
Excuse me,
profit.
sir.
Yeah,
Which slide are you on, sir?
I'm on this define phase.
So the screen is stuck on the title slide, sir. Could you please move forward?
Oh, maybe everybody is getting same.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Just I will just check it out now. Phases of yellow belt. You can see that.
Yes,
Yes,
sir.
sir.
Yes.
But earlier, yellow belt and black belt, you have seen the levels of Six Sigma belts. Now it's
No, sir.
moving.
No.
No.
Now you can see the levels of Six Sigma belts.
Yes.
Yeah.
So we do not see the second slide, sir.
No, sir.
Sir, you are on the third slide, sir. I think those levels come on the second slide.
So currently, which slide you are getting it on the
Number
screen?
three.
Yellow belt project.
Number
Phases
three.
of Yellow Bell project.
So I just made the change. Okay, just wait. So you can see the problem statement and project charter. Hello.
Yes, sir. Yes, yes.
So it is seen. So I'm making another change. You can see the collect data and this animation. You can see that.
No, sir.
No, sir, we don't see any animation. We just see the slide. That's it.
I think internet speed is slow bit.
Yeah, internet is slow.
So can you put it on slideshow mode?
It is in slideshow mode only. I will just again present it.
Yeah.
Just wait. So you can see the third slide, right? Hello?
Yes, sir. Third slide is full.
Yes, sir.
Third slide, right?
Yes, sir. Third slide.
Okay. So we'll go for that. Okay. So we are at third slide. So you can see define, measure, analyze, improve, and control. Okay.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Just okay. So this problem statement and project charter you can see. Are you able to see that?
No, sir.
No, sir.
It will come.
So many times if you move the cursor, it will update. So if you try moving the mouse, maybe you can do.
You can now I have just opened total slide. I have removed the animation. So you can see that.
Good morning.
Sir, can you put in slideshow mode?
Yeah, it is in
Sir,
slides.
I think you will have to
Slideshow
share
mode.
the entire screen.
Yogesh, sir.
Sir, I think you
Ah.
have to the entire
I think I have these slides from the last session, right?
No, we have changed that slightly.
Okay, if you can share with us, then someone else can present and you can talk. That way we can.
Yeah. No issue. No issue. No issue.
If you can share it right away, WhatsApp or anything.
Just wait. I'll just put it on. Nikhil, I have sent you my presentation. You just check it out. I'll present the entire screen so that we will. Now you can see. Hello.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, yes. Now
Third
it is.
slide.
It is moving.
Yes,
Yes,
yes.
sir.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, I think I have shared only window, so it is conflicting.
Hmm.
So root cause known. So I have directly shared my screen so that whatever changes happen in screen, it will be visible. Okay, again we will start. Sorry for interruption. Now we have passed 26 minutes. So can I take 26 more minutes more from your time?
Yes, sir. Sure, sir. We can continue it.
So I'll add 26 minutes. Okay, so this is we'll go with the levels of Six Sigma belts because you have not seen that. So at the base, you can see this slide.
Yes, sir. Yes.
Okay, so we'll again refresh ourselves and start from beginning. So yellow belt, it is at the base, but don't think that the base, if base is pakka and which will have a great strength, then you can build the building on it. So in building, the goal is master black belt, which is at the top. So yellow belt is the understanding the basic of Lean Six Sigma. So you will understand the basics of Lean Six Sigma, and that you will utilize for the different project when you go up from green belt, black belt to master black belt. In green belt, you are leading or supporting the project, which will have a saving of 20 lakhs or more. After successfully completing green belt, you will go for black belt. In black belt, you will lead and manage different projects at a time, maybe 10 or 15. I'm managing 45 projects at a time. I'm a black belt from Jubilant Life Science, Ingravia organization. Master black belt, you will coach, consult, and lead a project. He is also part of strategy for the organization. How we'll get increasing profit. How we can have defects in the systems. That will be done by the master black belt, and he will define the program for the organization. So it start with the yellow belt. So you are at the yellow belt. You have to make a base strong of your career, and then you will move to the master black belt as a rocket. Then these are the different phases for yellow belt. Not only yellow belt, for the green belt, black belt, and master black belt. These are the phases. It's the philosophy of Six Sigma. So it starts with the define. Now, what is the define? The word suggests that you have to elaborate your problem, and then the problem statement will come. Problem statement consists of a project charter. In project charter, you will give a business case. Business case consists of what is the problem, what is the pain the organization feel, what is the problem in the organization or particular process. When that process, the problem is occurring, where is exactly a problem, what is the impact of the problem to the organization, that you are defining in the project charter as a business case. Then comes the problem statement. In the problem statement, you have to write what is the problem and from when it is occurring. Then comes a goal statement within this project charter. and that should be a SMART. So SMART, S stand for specific, A stand for achievable, M stand for measurable, R stand for relevant, and T stand for time bound. So this SMART goal we have to give, and by when we will achieve that. Then comes the team charter. In team charter, we are giving the name of member of team with the responsibility. So nobody will run from the project. You are the leader of the project, and other people will assist you in doing a small part of the project. SIPOC, which is very important. The word SIPOC has individual alphabet having a different meaning. S stand for supply, I stand for input, P stand for process, O stand for output, and C stand for customer. Now, this entire journey of Yellow Belt is focusing on fulfilling customer demand. It's a customer centric. So we have to record the voice of customer. Voice means what customer wants, and which is very much vital, right? Whatever customer specification is there, that we have to fulfill. Then only he will give a price or the money for the sold good from us. And that voice of customer we have to integrate in CTQs. CTQ is the critical to quality, and critical to quality is a specific problem that you have to write in the metric. Metric in the sense, say for the productivity, we want to increase the production of styrene, polystyrene from say 100 metric ton current to 200 metric ton. So 100 metric ton per day of improvement we have to do. So that will be CTQ. After defining problem, we have find it out the VOC from the customer and doing the charter. Then we will move for the measurement of data. So data collection plan and making a process map is very vital for this process. Now, why measurement is vital? Because for example, now COVID-19 pandemic is devastating our earth, we can say our nation and the world. Now in that, we are analyzing, we are testing COVID positivity or negativity. Suppose if the measurement get faulty, then what will happen? It will give tension to that person, to the family, right? Similarly, in the measurement, if the process parameters are not measured correctly, or the result on which we are building this project, it's not correctly measured, then we will end up into wrong detection of the problem. And that wrong detection will ruin your project. Hence, we have to do a data measurement properly. For data measurement, we are having the measurement system analysis that you will learn. Basically, this is not a part in this project. You will not learn that. In the further, when you go for the green belt, it is you will learn it in detail because it requires a different kind of tools where the hypothesis testing is taking place. But for the measurement system, yes, you have to collect the data, which is vital. And secondly, the baseline. So whatever problem is there, whatever CDQ is there, for that you have to collect the data. Like for example, I have given the example of 100 metric ton is the current capacity. So what is the average capacity which is moving on for the year? So your baseline should be not for the one, not for the day, not for the month, but for the entire 1 year. So that will give the variation how it is happening. So there will be two types of problems. One is the average. You are getting 100 metric ton per day, or it is moving. When it is going to the 100, it is coming down to 98 or 90. Again, it is moving to 100 like that. So there will be a deviation problem also. So both the problem we have to solve. Average problem as well as the standard deviation problem. So that baseline we have to measure in the measure phase. After understanding the baseline, yes, you know from where you have to improve, as you have taken a target in project charter. Then you have to go for the analyze phase. Analyze phase consists of fishbone diagram, Viva analysis. Then you will utilize a control chart, regression analysis, and another very good tool, what is the DOE, design of experiment. In fishbone diagram, we will go in 7Q schedule in this lecture. I will just explain more in detail. Viva analysis, we have to ask a question, why this problem is occurring? So you have to ask a why question unless and until you will not get an answer. And if the point at which you will not get an answer, that will be the solution what you have to implement at the plant. Then comes the control chart. In control chart, you will have a data about excess. That means you have made the baseline of productivity. Now that productivity depends on certain parameter of the plant. That parameter excess is measured, and how the variation is taking place within that parameter, you will analyze that. If there is a vast variation, then we have to find out why that vast variation is occurring and are directly impacting on the productivity or not. That we have to find the relationship, and that relationship you will get it from regression analysis and the design of experiment. Now in short, I will just give you a brief of design experiment. Is that it's a tool where you will have the response, which is a y, is equal to function of x parameters of the process which we are controlling. And how these are interrelated, the model is set or model is prepared, and its statistical significance is measured. If it is statistically significant, then your model is perfect, and then you can find out the impact of excess on y. So in analyze phase, this detailed work you are doing it. Then comes the improve phase. In improve phase, so whatever reasons you have found out from Viva analysis, that you are converted into the action plan. And that action plan you are implementing at the shop floor. And in shop floor, you will find it out how this improvement has happened, and you are comparing with the baseline. Is there any improvement? Is there mean change or average change? And the percentage deviation decrease, so that you will compare in improve phase. After successfully completion of the improve phase, You will move to control phase. Whatever improvement you have done, you have to see the sustainability of that. So it should not deviate again, go back to your original baseline. It should stay there and give a sustainable results. So that will be seen in the control phase. Now you'll ask, sir, if it is not achievable, then what will do? Then you again go to the analyze phase, or again go to a define phase, again measure it, again analyze it, improve it, and see how it is changing. So it's a continual improvement. But mostly, whatever tools you are utilizing and you are getting a result, that should sustain in the control phase itself. Otherwise, we have to go backward. And once one stage is completed, we have to take another another target, further improvement in the process. And then again we have to go with the define, measure, analyze, improve, and control phase. So it shows the continual life cycle of the DMAC project. So these are the phases. So let us move to what do you mean with the problem? What is the problem? Where it has occurred? So basically, a business problem occur at the workplace where we are working, or the kind of work we are doing, and it are interrelated. So many times we are getting an obstacle in the process, any deviation in the process, and that will give the opportunity. Opportunity in the sense that by solving this obstacle, I can enhance my productivity, I can enhance my quality of the product, I can enhance the workability of the people. So the problem is the pain area for the organization, is the defect what occurring in the organization, and that we have to solve as taking as a opportunity and moving forward. We know this picture, it's a traditional picture to define a problem. Elephant is there and there are 6 people who there is they have closed their eyes, there's a band on their eyes, and they are analyzing the people. Like somebody is touching the ears of the elephant and it says it's a fan. Somebody is saying it's a spear. For trunk, they are saying snake. For leg, it's a tree. When he touches the body, he says the wall. And somebody is touching a tail, it says rope. So now, this is the way in the traditional problem solving attitude, we are seeing the problem as a different entity. So it's a different for different people who are looking at it. So this will not give you the correct solution. But in DMAC philosophy or Six Sigma philosophy, we have to open our eyes. We have to first see the data, what process gives. That means removing the band on the eyes of the people, and visually they are seeing the elephant. Then they are saying yes, it is elephant. So elephant is the data, and the people are there what we are seeing the problem. So problem definition is very important, and we have to see in the open eyes. That is the message I just want to give it to you. Gemba walk. It's the philosophy which is coming from the Japanese. Now mostly what happened in the process, there is a procedure, and that procedure is coming from the R&D, who is the process designer, or it is coming from the recipe of the product. The people who are operating the process, they are following the steps, right? Now, take an example. You are making a good rice at your home and you want to prepare that. So you will take one pot, you will boil water in that, and then add a rice, clean rice into that. Then you will keep it for 15 minutes and then you are removing water, and then you will see it is, you will do the quality check that okay, the rice is properly prepared or not, and then you will serve to the people. Now in that, while doing, consistently you are not getting a rice which is fully cooked. There is a variation. Sometimes it is properly cooked, sometimes it is not. Then your mother will come and she do a checking how you have used the process. And in that, if she find the deviation in the process, then she will assist you that you have not done this. Please boil it for the 15 minutes and then serve. Stir it well and keep it properly cooked. Or sometimes she will say you have not boiled the water properly. So boil the water properly and then do it. Similar to that, so she has recognized the problem and given the solution. Similar to that, in the process plant, there are batch manufacturing records for products. And there are different steps are given. How you have to charge the reactant, how that reactant sequence go. If you add other reactant into that, then it will have effect. It is also written. So this Gemba walk will ensure, these are the cross-functional team which is going into the shop floor. They are checking the procedure and finding out the deviation from the procedure and write it down. Why deviation occurring, and find out the defects in that. So it just, we have to, as a cross-functional team, we have to go to the shop floor, find the log, find the procedures, how the people are operating, take their opinion on that, interrogate them, or you can have a meeting with them, ask them what is their procedure and check whether it is in line with the procedure, standard operating procedure. If any deviation is there, mark there. And that will help you in understanding how the problem is taking place. So this Gemba walk is very vital for improving the process at the shop floor. So before, okay, then, so there are different types of deviation which are occurring in the process. Muda, Muri, and Mura. Muda is the best. Muri in the next is the overburdening, and Mura is unevenness. So it is the Japanese philosophy. It's a Toyota 3 M's, Muda, Muri, and Mura. So from this, if you analyze the process, you will get the insight that why this deviation is occurring. So everything is coming to the deviation. For example, take your body. You are getting fever. That means your body temperature is increasing. your temperature should be lies between 97 to 98, but it is deviating to 99, and that temperature is the parameter which shows it is going beyond a specific limit of healthy human being, and then you have to rush to the doctor for analysis. So the DMAC process lies within you itself. So problem, you are getting fever, measure, temperature you are measuring, analyze, you will go to doctor will analyze, take a sample, blood sample, corona test, everything he will do, and based on the result he will, okay, you are diagnosed with this. Then he will prescribe the action plan like improvement for you as a tablet. And then you are taking tablet means piloting, it is occurring. After taking a tablet, if your health is improving, no fever, then improvement happened. If that fever you are not getting till 6 months to 8 months, that is the control phase, right? So similarly, it's a connection with the human experience. I am just sharing it that. So coming back to Muda. So Muda is the waste which are there in the system process. These are the 8 type of waste. One is the transportation, inventory, second, motion, third, waiting, fourth, fifth is overprocessing, overproduction, defects, and skill. Now skill is also a type of waste. I will come to that example. So first is the transportation. What is a transportation? Moving item or the information. Now this transportation is delaying. Let's take an example. When you are doing a project of any processing plant and one reactor you want, which is coming from, say, Delhi to Mumbai, your site is Mumbai, and it is getting delayed by 8 weeks. What will happen to your project? The project will delay by 8 months. Your profit plant started with delay by 8 months, and that will have an impact on your profitability. So your forecasting will delay. The organization will not get a benefit out of it. Second is the inventory. Inventory. What is the inventory? It's a good you have bring back to the factory and you have paid the cost, but you are not utilizing it. You are piling it up, this inventory, but it is not used for the plant, and it's a waste. Whatever money you have invested, you have locked it. So this is another kind of waste. So that inventory you have to, once it is coming to a factory, again immediately you have to utilize for your plant. Third is the motion. Motion of the material, raw material. Motion of your utilities. Motion of your feed to reactor. So any motion which will utilize for processing your product, if that motion is excessive, for example, I am having a plant and you know the boilers, hello, steam generating boilers, anybody you can answer?
Yes, sir.
Boilers, right? So coal is used for the producing steam, right? Coal is burned and then we are generating steam for the process plant. Okay. Now the coal is coming from coal mine and we are storing that coal in one of the area. Ideally it should be near to a boiler, but you don't have a space. You are storing at 1 yard or 1 kilometer away from the boiler. The process, the coal is coming from coal mining, dumping there 1 kilometer away from the boiler, and again you are moving that to near to boiler. So you are making the excess motion of that material, so which is not value added. Customer will not give extra money for that. Then your layout should be like this. Whatever coal is unloaded, directly it should be unloaded at the feed point of the boiler and it is directly utilized. So that is the example of the motion. Fourth item comes waiting. If example I will give, you are having an interview at 11 o'clock. You reach at 12 o'clock. Will you get the appointment later? Answer is no. Because you have vetted the panel members for the information or for the interview. Similarly happening with the process. I will give you the process example. Now there are 5 steps for the process, right? And in the 5 steps, first step is producing material. Second step is very much slower. It is not consuming a material which is coming from the first step. So first step, material will be in the waiting. Now this waiting material, it's not stable. If it is not stable, it will degrade. And once it goes to a second step, it will not give you the correct quality of the product. That means because of waiting, this product has deteriorated. It was not processed within a time. Hence, it is causing a defect in the project or in the product. So waiting is very vital. And similar happened with the 3, 4 and 5 steps. They are waiting for getting a material from second. So people, and because of that waiting, the people who are there, they will stand still. So no work will be there. So whatever people are there which are utilized for making a production per day, it will not happen, right? Then fifth comes the over processing, doing more work than necessary. बहुत ही ज़्यादा काम करते हैं. They are doing more work, more processing. This example I can give it to you, and which is very much important. Whenever we are getting a quality specification from the customer that we want 99% pure material. Now the plant is giving a result at 99.5. That means customer wants 99 and we are giving the 99.5%. We are giving the extra processing for that, which is not asked by the customer, which is non-value added for me, not for the organization. So if I can prepare a product which is 99% pure, so whatever efforts has gone for making that 0.5 will be reduced, and that will add a value to the organization or the profitability. It will decrease my steam requirement or the utility requirement. It will decrease the processing of one reaction or one phase. So that can be think of. Then another thing comes is the overproduction. Now demand is less, but we are producing more. So everything will pile up in the stores, finished goods stores. So we are blocking the money like inventory. The finished product is lying as it is. Also, that finished product is having the expiry date. So if customer wants only some value, that only we have to produce, and that is called the pool system. Whatever required, that much only goes to the market. Seventh comes the defect. Now defects are different, right? When we buy a TV, in that the screen, you are getting a screen. In screen, you are getting a line. Still, you will purchase that same TV? The answer is no. You are given a full money for that product, and you are getting a defective piece. So how you will buy that? The customer will not buy any defective material for its consumption. So that will be a waste for that organization. And the eighth is the skill. Now, how the skill is the waste? When we are having a qualified person, highly qualified person, and who is doing the clerical work. It's the technical sound person who is doing the only a clerical work for that processing plant, then that will be the waste of his skill. So he is not doing as per his ability and give added value to the organization. So these are the 8 types of waste, and you have to remember this 8 types of waste in this way. TIM, team, WOODS, team woods, or downtime. You can remember is at a team wood. That will be better, right? Then we'll go to the Moody, which is overburden. Overburden, we are when exam comes, we just do our study for 24 hours, say 18 hours, 15 hours. Even though 24 hours, we used to stay awake for preparing for the examination. So that is overburdening, right? If you have done that part in the subsequent time, let's stay from start from the what you can say semester examination. There are 6 months are there. Every month you will do some study, and it will not add overburdening. So similar overburdening is there in the process. So in the process, what happened is that, take an example of pump. Now pump having the rated capacity of handling a solids of say 3 to 5%. Now in that, if you have put a 10% solid, what will happen? It will not pump that material, it will overburden, and sometimes it will stop. It will not work as a pump. So that we have overburden it with undesirable things to that process. So that's called overburdening. The overburdening is coming from overloading, unnatural movement, poor design, poor ergonomics, pain, unrealistic task. So sometimes we are saying, okay, so we will do 10% more on design, processing of the plant, but sometimes that will be unrealistic. So overburdening your process will not serve a purpose. It will come to a standstill when it shows that I will not do it. The process will say itself, I will not do it. Sometimes, take an example of person who is doing clearing files. You are not giving, suddenly you are giving 20 files for clearing him, and you will ask him there should not be any mistake in the file. So it's an example of overburdening him. The rate of clearing file is only a 10, and we are giving 25 files to clear him by that single person. So that is called overburdening. Then comes the Mura, unevenness. So we have taken the example of studying in late night in the exam session, exam period. It's a unevenness, right? There are 6 months are there. We have got the time, and within that time, if we have done 10% or say 20% work in that month, so by the end of 5th month we'll be 100% prepared, and then we have to do the revision in the 6th month, and then we have to appear for the examination. But what we are doing at the end only, we are studying it, and this is creating unevenness. At the start we are keeping calm, we are not doing, and at the end we are raising a bar and giving our mind or brain a burden. So the unevenness of the process, and then ultimately it is result in the Muri. So Mura is converted into the Muri. So what the elements of the Mura? Bumpy. So consider you are traveling through bumpy road, uneven road. It will cause a pain to your back when you are driving 2-wheelers or 4-wheeler. If there is a big fat hole, then again it will create a problem to your back when you are traveling through vehicle. There are up downs, start stop, lumpy, unequal, peaks and valley, unlevel. So these are the unevenness which are occurring. Start stop, when in the process it is running at the 100 KLPD, that is the operating capacity, maximum operating capacity. But what you are doing, you are decreasing down, again increasing higher production, again decreasing down. So that will create unevenness within the process. Sometimes you will get a good result, but the energy cost will go up and down. So this is the example of Mura, unevenness. So this kind of pain, you have to find it out, and for that we have to define our project, and that pain we have to define in the charter. So how to find out the projects from this? Muri, Mura and Muda. These are the areas where you can find out the pain, problems, and that problems you can well put it in your charter as a business case, find out the problem statement for that, and make a smart goal statement and give the timelines. Then we'll move to define a measure phase. In measure phase, you are capturing your data. As I have already told that the data is very vital, and data governance and the trueness of the data is very, very important. If there is a deviation or fault in the data itself, then you will end up with the understanding the wrong problem. Then measurement system analysis you will learn in the green belt, so which is not very much vital at this stage. Process capability. Then we'll go to the analyze phase. After making a baseline, we have to analyze the data in following sequence. First, we'll go with the cause and effect diagram. So what is the cause and effect diagram? So this is the cause and effect diagram. What is this? You know the fish, right? In fish, similar kind of bones are there, right? Central, and then you are having the branches. Still, the central bone is your problem. Now, that problem, that is the effect or the goal. So, at the center, whatever I have written, problem or goal, that is your effect. And that effect is because of the cause caused by environment, material. I just take a laser pointer. So environment, material, method, people, measurement, and the machine. So these are the factors whose they are affecting this problem or the goal. So in the environment, is there any seasonal effect on this problem? How the process operators is creating this problem? He is operating well, or is there any proper training schedule, or he is properly trained, his skill, competency is as per the job? Methods talks about the type of process you are using it. Are we using correct process? Feeding is correct. Is there any deviation in that? When we talk about machine will deal with the processing equipment in which the process is happening. The equipment is as per design, it is underrated or overrated. The temperature control is precise, that things are coming, shortfall of the machine will come in this. Then comes the measurement. Now, how much authentic is the measurement? Is there any faultiness in the measurement? That we are measuring over here. People we have seen, and the last but not the least, the material. The quality of material is causing the defect. That means how much is the purity of that material? Is there any impurity in that? So that, or the MOC of the equipment is as per the material what we are using it. So entire thing you are considering, all the causes you are considering in this, in the categorized manner, in material, method, machine, measurement, and the people, or you can say man. 6M you can call it. People you can say man, and environment I have shown, that is the Mother Earth, right? So this is the fishbone diagram. So you will write the causes over there, and you don't have to write it alone. Here the team will come in the picture, and that team will do this analysis. Every time, whenever you do yellow belt project, green belt project, black belt project, or master black belt project, one thing you have to understand is that it's not a one-man show, it's a teamwork, what we have to do, right? So this is a fishbone diagram. Let's go for the check sheet. So this is a check sheet in which, so whatever defects are there, you are analyzing it. So this will give you the how your process is moving. You will see, okay, supply part trusted, how many, and within a week how many failure occur. So that check sheet will give you the understanding that is your process is moving right or wrong. Then comes the control chart. In control chart, whatever data is there, you are just plotting it. With respect to x-axis, it will be the observation or the day for which the data is collected. Now there are two dotted lines which are given. The lower line is called LCL, which is a lower control limit, where the lowest data is occurring, and UCL is the upper control limit, where the highest data is occurring. Now this gap is calculated as there will be a standard deviation between the your data multiplied by 3. So we are considering the 3 sigma level for this process data. So it will show you there is a center line which gives you the mean or the average value for the process. So up to this part, say March 18, it will show, it is showing the initial condition, and then after April 18, you see the reduction in the process that shows the improvement. That means whatever process is changing, it improvement or decrement in the process that can be seen subjective to the data. So this control chart is very much important, how the movement is occurring. It is as per, it is closer to the middle line or it is moving up and down. So whatever data which is going beyond the upper control limit or lower control limit, that we have to investigate. That is the deviation. This is about the control chart. Then we go with the cross-functional flow diagram. So I have given the flow chart, how the process is occurring, and that process where the problem is occurring. So I have given the example how to boil a rice. So earlier I have taken the example, and this is a flow chart. Any of the any process you have to give a flow chart. Then comes the histogram. Now why we are doing a bar chart? Why histogram is required? The histogram will give you the indication which is the observation or the reading which is giving the best frequency, means occurring number of times. And this histogram will give you how your process is moving. It is centrally located, which is where you will have the maxima with the highest frequency, or it is moving towards left or right. It's called skewed type. So these are the information. Then we have to work on the left skew or right skew. If your process is perfectly aligned with the average, then you don't have to worry as per the specification. So this inference can be taken from the histogram. Then comes the Pareto chart. In Pareto chart, it will give the insight. What are the causes which are giving the 80% of failure? That 20% of causes is giving 80% of failure. And first, you will attack on that major causes. And that will have a 20% of effect. By eliminating that causes, will improve your process to 80%. And rest of the things are just 20% are there. You don't have to put efforts. So this will give the categorization of your process deviation of the problem where you have to focus. That is a Pareto chart. And then comes last but not the least is the Pareto chart. In Pareto chart, what you are understanding? you are plotting a graph between x and y, and this will give you the relation. With the scatter plot, if you see first part, it is increasing with the increasing of x. Y is increasing with the increasing of x, and this will increase. So it will give the linear positive relationship. If you go to the next one, which shows the linear negative relationship. If you go for third quadrant, here no relation you are getting it. So the data is scattered. And then if you see for the fourth, it shows the non-linear correlation where you will get a plateau or maxima at some instant with the x, and then again increasing that it will decrease by. So the scatter plot will give you the relationship how with my YCTQ the x's are interrelated. So this is analyze phase where you will understand the problem, and that problem you will take it and do the viva analysis. You will come to the action plan, and then we will come to the action plan and for the improvement, and you are doing a piloting for that, comparing improvement with the baseline, how much improvement have we have done, and then we will do the hypothesis testing, and then a sustainability is done in the control state where you can have the benefit achieved from that. So this is about the control chart. Thank you very much. So this is all about how the project is moving in the Six Sigma or DMAC philosophy. Thank you very much all for kindly listening to the topic, irrespective of the technical issues happened. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
I have taken 20 minutes more.
Yeah. So if there is anything that you want to ask, you can ask. Yes, Anushka.
Mostly people are exiting. Can we have a photograph first?
Okay, sir. We can have a photograph.
Because mostly I am seeing people are exiting.
Okay. So can everyone put their cameras on?
Camera on. So great thing is that I am communicating with you. I am sharing knowledge with you. That's a great pleasure for me, and the opportunity which is given.
Yes, students Afreen, Anushka, you all put your cameras on for a minute.
Yeah, for a minute.
Screenshot. Yes, everyone, quickly.
Yeah. Thank you, guys.
Still, free.
So this is Yellow Belt team for me.
Yeah.
So all the very best for your project. Any help is required, just mail me yogeshkoparkar@gmail.com. So I will answer your queries in that. And let us start a journey of business excellence from here after. So it's a base of pyramid, but it is very vital. You can I can say that. And I have done chemical engineering, then masters and PhD. Now I am learning a lot on statistical techniques. I'm doing a DOE also. So I'm utilizing all for the benefit of people and my organization. So there will be always a thought that, okay, we have to improve in the organization for the sake of organization as well as for our knowledge. And whatever knowledge I have, I am sharing with you. So I am doubling that knowledge with you. Yeah, we can take a photograph. You have taken a photograph?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, thank you very much. So any question?
Thank you, sir.
Yeah. So I think no question. So Nikhil, we can
Yes, sir. We can call it a day.
call it a day, and you can write it me your questions